Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Nova, and today we're going to be doing some SMG, S&D classes. So I'm going to do a little series, I think. I'm going to start it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to basically doing class setups for the 4 different competitive game types, S&D, hardpoint, CTF, uplink, and I'm going to be doing sort of SMG run-throughs, AR run-throughs. You know, you don't really use any other gun type other than them two, so it'll mainly be those. But if there's any other classes that people do use, I will include them. Then we're going to be doing SMGs. Okay, so I'll start off with... Most people use a VMP. I personally prefer the VMP, but some people like the CUDA. I would get... The other 4 shouldn't even come to your mind, unless rapid fire is enabled. The Pharaoh is very good with rapid fire. It's probably one of the best guns with rapid fire, and it's the most effective at range. You'll probably get one bursted, or like you get one burst. I think it's technically the strongest at close range. Just because you can get one bursted at close range, it's very strong. With rapid fire, I would use this, but if no rapid fire is in play, then I would use either the VMP or the CUDA. I prefer the CUDA. Sorry, the VMP. So I usually have the VMP. So I always use quick draw and grip on my VMP, no matter what, always. That's what I use no matter what. I personally feel that quick draw is needed and grip is like highly needed as well. Okay, so the third attachment, that is mostly opinion, because I run stock. The only reason I have that is just for like, that was my gunsmith and I haven't changed it yet. You can run long barrel if you want. I prefer stock. Stock, in my opinion, is so much more effective. Long barrel is good though. It is very good. You know, help you win those like long distance gunfights. But as an SMG, you shouldn't really be getting into those gunfights. You know, you leave them to your AR. So personally, stock is much better for me. But if obviously if you feel like you can't really use stock as more effectively as long barrel, then use long barrel. You know, just like basically swap it every time that I feel like there's a different variation to what I'm saying. I'll let you know. So you know, with the VMP and the CUDA. Or long barrel and stock. So let me put stock on because that's what I usually use. No matter what, I would run afterburner as my perk 1, just because I find it so much more effective than any of the other perks like blind eye. You know, obviously not going to use that. Sixth sense and ghost are banned. Blackjack is very important as well, but we'll get to that later. Same with overclock. Okay, so afterburner is what I would use no matter what. If it's banned, then it's banned. Then probably I would, if overclock's not banned, run that. Sometimes you don't actually, or flak jacket if they're nading, but if they're not nading, you don't actually need a perk 1. No, most people don't really ban afterburner though. Okay, so perk 2, fast hands. That is absolutely key. Never run a class without fast hands. That is the honest to God truth. Like, you need to always be using fast hands. I think it's so effective. Obviously, without it, you're going to lose probably like 90% of the gunfights you get into. You know, if they're running fast hands and they're at a good skill level. So perk 2, fast hands on every class. That will be what I have, no matter what. Okay. So for my perk 3, you'll 100% get it twice, you know, unless you're good doing like 0 and 10. Maybe even 3 times if you're doing very well. I doubt you'll get it 3 times because, you know, you don't usually use it just the first round you get it. Some people do save it, so probably you'll guaranteed at least 2. So overclock is what I run. This is like my go-to class. I don't really change it up too much in S&D, depending on unless you know, I see how the team, like if the enemy team are playing differently, then I will change it up. This is always the class I start out with unless I've played against the team before and I know how they play. That is a go-to class for me. Okay, so for the second class, not really going to change too much up. This is just literally flak jacket. So if they're running like grenades, you know, Semtex, they're nading the heavy like you know, like lethal presence, then you need to use flak jacket. That is so important. You know, or you can literally get rid of that and help your team run trophies. You know, like it depends really, because if you're in trophies, you're protecting your whole team. But with that flak jacket, you're only protecting yourself. But that means you can push into a lot more places. Like if you're on bomb, if you're bomb planter and they're nading bomb, you know, if you say for instance on like infection, if you're planting, you know, if your head down, they can't see where you are. They're gonna nade in to see. If they nade in, sorry, to see if you're planting bomb. If you haven't got flak jacket on, you're dead. That's it. Now you're on your team are on a 3v4. And you're getting it's harder on an attacking round, you know, with a 3v4 than a defending round. There's a lot more you can do on a defending round, you know, with like 3 people, whereas 4 on an attacking round can be quite difficult. So flak jacket I would say is humongous for certain, yeah, obviously certain teams. That's literally what I would do. Literally, it's not really much difference, just them two. Okay, so for another one. By the way, these are all going to be VMP, and then you can change your Kuda if you like I said. So, you know, I'm never going to change from the VMP because that's my weapon of choice in like basically every single game mode, unless it gets banned, obviously. And then I'll go for maybe an AR or Kuda. Okay, so on this, I take that off. Literally, swap to Dead Silence. I know these 3 classes are literally just changing 1 perk, but they're so... Each one does so much different to the other one. You know, obviously you get the specialist quicker, protected by lethals on this one, and then this one they won't be able to hear you. That is so important. If you see that the enemy team are playing in a way where they're listening, you know, camping corners, if they hear you and, you know, pre-aiming a lot of doors, they have a gist of where you are. That is very important. I always run an extra Dead Silence. So these are 3 classes that I always run on everything. You know, I might change like a couple of perks up or like, sorry, attachments up here and there, but these are mainly the 3 I use. Okay, so let's just, oh god, wrong one. Right, go to the 4th one. Okay, on this, you take off any extra perks you have. Don't run any extra perks. Okay, there's 2 things you can do with these extra 2 slots. Boosh, you can run long barrel as well. That's OP as hell. You know, you can challenge a lot more gunfights at range, knowing that obviously if your shot is good, you're going to be hitting them. The bullets you hit are going to be very important when you're not using long barrel, because if you're whiffing so many shots at range and you're not using long barrel, you're probably not going to get the kill if the enemy's doing a lot, like if the enemy's got a much better gun skill than you. You know, so long barrel is very important for these long range gun battles. When you think like, say for instance on Fringe, if you're watching mid, I mean most of the time you won't watch mid if you're an SMG, but you know, let's put you in that circumstance, and someone maybe for instance is like, you know, head glitching the truck. Very hard shot, but it's possible because I've done it before. You know, like you can do it if they're not like on target. But if they had an AR, you have an SMG, you're shooting them from truck. Yeah, so you're shooting them from yellow barrels to truck. They're gonna get that kill. They need to crouch, aim up, dead. If you have an AR, you will be dead. So that long barrel, if you're hitting those shots, really key, really important. So that's what I would do with that. Or because I want to use a last class, sorry, for an overkill class. I'll quickly show you now. This is if you want a lethal and tactical class. So I would put frag, concussion on. That's all I'd do. That's literally all I'd do. Maybe swap it for an EMP. EMPs are handy, you know, like obviously they allow like you to push certain places knowing that no one will be using their specialist, because it withdraws like the enemy's use of specialists when they're EMP'd. Same with their boosters, they can't really boost, so that's really important. Flashbang I wouldn't run. Personally, I just wouldn't run flashbangs. I find the concussions are so much more effective. You know, with a flashbang, they can't see, but they can still shoot. And if they have a rough idea, if they're shooting just in the doorway, let's say for example, and you flashbang in, then you can like, if you run in, they're still like pre-firing that doorway, you're gonna die. You know, whereas with concussion, obviously if they were a little bit off that doorway, it would take them so much to move with a concussion. I find concussion so much more effective. Or you can like get rid of lethal, you know, 2 tacticals, whatever you want. But I would run a lethal and a tactical, so a concussion or Semtex, frag or Semtex, sorry, usually a frag. Okay, so that would be my key 4 classes, you know, SMG. Obviously, I wouldn't run all 5 SMG classes, but these are all good classes. Okay, this is an overkill class. So obviously, if you want to be like running a sniper as well as this. So these are obviously 3 key perks. Okay, then obviously let's get the wildcard on. All right, there we go. And now this is where I'll give you a bit more opinion than like sort of fact, I guess. Locus, in my opinion, is nowhere near it. Well, that's a fact, really. It's not as good as the SVG and S&D. Literally just for the fact that you can get so many hit markers with this. It says 1-shot kill above the waist, but the amount of times I've got kills, hit markers on the chest is stupid. So I would go SVG every time. You're not going to be constantly. You're not going to be going like loads of enemies aren't going to be running at you from spawn. You know, like in pubs. It's just that sniping's like getting that first pick. SVG is what I would use probably like 50% of the time, because there's another sniper that I really like, and always a thermal on that, because personally I think the normal scope has loads of weapon sway, but with that thermal, it's so much more effective. You can use Varix 3 if you like, to get rid of the weapon sway if you don't like thermal, but in my opinion, thermal is so much more important. And then I have one more slot, bang on a concussion, or bang on a nade, anything you want. I would run concussion over it personally. So yeah, that would be that class, but I don't use the SVG much. In certain game modes I do, certain like in scrims or with my team I would use it, or if it was an important match and I would use it. But I'm very good with the PO6 personally. I find that there's not much weapon sway. I find it very effective. I just think it's a very, very good weapon. The only problem is if you're getting into a sniper battle with an SVG, you're a little bit buggered, because obviously the SVG's got so much more it's so much quicker at shooting. So I would run a PO6. If you're playing, if you know you can hit the shot, go for it. But remember, against an SVG, you'll probably lose. And remember, there's no scope on it, so you can either maybe take that off and go for an extra attachment. There you go. So you basically got, instead of having like an extra like overclock or dead silence or flak, you have a sniper instead, which is pretty big. Like swapping one perk for a weapon is pretty awesome. And obviously now you can get to more range gun battles. They would be my 5 key ones. That's what I would use in competitive play. I probably would only have three of these classes on at times. Depends on how I'm playing. If my team want me to run an SMG, then I'd have this one, this one, this one. Probably majority this one as well, depending if I want to snipe. If I don't want to snipe, that would be an AR class, and then I'd probably have that. That's how I'd run them. But yeah, alright then guys, thanks for that. Leave me some feedback in the comments below, to tell me how I did. If you want me to change up my videos, or do the class setup videos in any other way, let me know. All feedback is really appreciated, because I'm just a starting channel, so I want to know what I'm doing wrong, so I can improve on it. Remember to like and subscribe. That's really helpful. Thank you very much. I'm Nova, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.